So there's a long title, Ezra Stereo Island Movie. So it's something about Ezra, that software I keep working on. Something about a movie, something about an island and stereo. Wow. Okay, let's take a look. I'm keep playing with. We have complicated data and how best to represent it all. This kind of plot might be familiar to you already. We have samples stacked up like vertical books from left to right, increasing in time. And then each sample has frequency from a low number at the bottom up to a high frequency at the top. And we see over a course of a day this interesting pattern. There are two bright spots where the antenna happened to be rotated by the Earth to look at the galactic plane. Okay. There are ways to improve some of this. There is a line down the middle here that I don't like. And so perhaps the software can remove that by hiding that data. So that makes it a little bit better. But gosh, all this stuff in here is kind of blue or purple. There's a lot of noise going on. So it turns out if Ezra EasyCon, one of the programs, has a way now to smooth the data to try to remove some of that noise. And that seems to help the contrast. So that's an improvement. Good. Um, and then we can plot this using this 3D plotter program and to see the same thing. But it's a 3D program, so we can plot it at a slightly different angle, or even down here, or even way down here. So that's kind of fun. We're starting to see the data in a different light. In fact, we can move the camera a little bit to the right and even more to the right, all the way around to the side, so that we're actually looking at the graph now from the right side, looking at it. And if we squeeze the data in and out of the screen, we can actually make it smaller, smush it down even so that it becomes flat, and we get to see all those spectra lined up, piled on top of each other. That's interesting. And then we can put labels on it to get all the values. But part of the Ezra process is to remove frequencies we really don't care about anymore. And sure enough, over on the left, there's a whole bunch of frequencies we don't need. Let's change the range that this 3D plotter concentrates on, focuses on, and removes that data so that we start a little bit in and ignore this data way over here on the left. And the same can be true on the right symmetrically. So now that fills up the screen a little bit more. There's a lot of data below the value 1 that I really don't want. So we can change the range on the bottom and clip off the bottom. In fact, I want to go even a little farther, all the way up to starting at the value 1.1, I think it is, yeah. And work with the data that way. We'll see why here in a moment. We can, to review then, I removed the low frequencies down here. I removed the high frequencies down here. And all these low values, kind of a darker blue, um, I'm simply not plotting. It's kind of like filling this bucket up with water and now have the coastline higher, close around this green edge. Sure enough, that's what makes it look like islands. We can put contour values, contour lines on those colorful values. And then, of course, we can present it in 3D and tilt it. And once we do that, well, we can move the camera a little bit to the right. And yeah, they really kind of do look like islands. If I tilt it again 1/10 of a radian to the right, that's about 5 degrees. Well, I can do that a couple of times. Well, gosh, if I have a whole bunch of those all the way around the circle, I could make a movie. And while I'm at it, let's make it a stereo, cross-eyed stereo movie. So that's what we're doing here with an easy GIF on the web. We'll glue all those things into one presentation file. If you hold your thumb about 5 inches from your nose and focus on your thumb with both eyes, you might see in the background a third image in the middle and then concentrate on that. That's cross-eyed stereo, so that we can see this image now in stereo even if it's moving. Uh, what has this got to do with radio astronomy? I'm not quite sure, but it makes dramatic images and videos, and that might attract folks and get them to ask more questions about what the heck are you doing? That's really pretty colors, and it looks neat. What does it mean? And then you can start talking about all those technical details that we savor. So the Ezra software is posted up on the Ezra webpage. On that web page, I have a bunch of new links rather recently talking about how you do some of these 3D plots. And even at the bottom, there's a new paragraph down here emphasizing more about sharing the data that we have between ourselves. I can't see all of the radio sky from my location on Earth. Maybe other folks can't see that parts that I can see. So let's share data back and forth and get a more complete image of the sky. All of that there is on the Ezra webpage.